Hey guys, it's Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon and Deluxe Class Wheeljack, aka Q, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. And this is a character that's been a long time coming, because the original Deluxe Class from the MechTech Dark of the Moon line was not released here in the States. I think it was a Takara release, along with the likes of Soundwave, and I even think Dino/Mirage. So it's nice to see Hasbro finally giving us this character. They already gave us Soundwave, they already gave us Dino. This guy was the missing link to finish the unreleased characters. Him and Leadfoot, actually, who was a Target exclusive a couple of years back. So yeah, they've made good on that, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at all Wheeljack and or Q has to offer in terms of accessories. He's got like a spear weapon. It's got a peg on it, but I'm not sure where that goes. And then he does have a blaster. And the blaster can actually fit in the spear. There's a little peg hole somewhere around here. Right there. That's how you can pop that into. And it kind of makes it easier for him to hold as a spear, but I'm not entirely sure how this weapon works. It's very odd in design, but there is that. So taking a closer look at Wheeljack. I'm just going to call him Wheeljack because that's essentially what he is. I mean, even in Rise of the Beast, he had like the glasses thing going on, so this could be a older version of that same guy. But as far as articulation goes, his head will rotate very tight. He will look up and down. He does have a little tiny bit of pivot. Shoulders will go out. As far as these pauldron pieces will allow, very interesting how these fold up on his back, kind of like a crazy looking cape. But his arms will go out about this far. Yeah, that's about as far as they'll go. Can move back and forth a little bit. It's not great. He does have, I thought he had some kind of crazy double elbow. He does, but it's mostly a transformation joint. He does have a gauntlet swivel, so he at least has some kind of wrist articulation, even if it's not the best. Nothing in the waist, as far as I can tell, but folding the hip skirt out, he can kick out, back down, he can kick forward, he can kick back, he's got a thigh cut, he's got a single jointed knee, gets you 90 degrees, unless you of course fold this panel up, and then you're not going to get as much, but it does kind of help with stability. And as far as the ankles go, no rocker, it seems, on that. I mean, you kind of, if you futz with the transformation joint here, he does have some sort of a rocker, but it's not intended to be that. It's a transformation joint. So, yeah, an interesting design. I think he's one of the more unique Bayformer designs. I mean, he does kind of look like Albert Einstein with a head tattoo. That's kind of neat. But why don't I give him his blaster here? I have to figure out this whole spear contraption off cam, but the blaster does fit in his hand like this. Like so. And there you go. But standing him up here, as best as I can anyways, we bring in our two regulars. We got Mythic Legion's brother Manibelith right here. And the infamous Element Spawn who as usual towers over everyone. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while he may not be a perfect figure, I still believe that good old Wheeljack and or Q here is perfect for kicking ass. Whatever he said in his 2 minutes of screen time in Dark of the Moon, and that kind of sucked. Cool character like this, and Dino, and even the NASCAR dudes, what are the names? The Wreckers, Roadbuster, Topspin, and Leadfoot. Didn't get a lot of screen time. It makes me wonder why they were in there in the first place, but I guess we can't say it was to sell toys, right? Because, well, they didn't put most of those out over here. Either way, this figure is pretty freaking cool for what it's worth. If you want this character from Dark of the Moon, it's the only way to get him. At least affordable. And I even got him on sale on Big Bad Toy Store. So probably be able to find him for a bit of a discount if you're patient enough. So with that being said, before I wrap this thing up, why don't we get this guy transformed and take a closer look at his vehicle mode. And as promised, here we have good old Wheeljack in his Mercedes alt mode, if I'm not mistaken. Closer look here, it does have the logo right on the front, so that's nice. You can store his weapons on the side here. And it's a little funky. It would have been nice if he had like 2 of each of those. But at any rate, he can roll. Kinda. This wheel's a little stuck on mine. There's probably just some flashing or something in the pin that's keeping it from rolling freely, but he does roll, rest assured, the rest of the time. But yeah, it's not a bad little car. Compresses nicely. The transformation's not too difficult. His whole shoulder pad cape lab coat thing is probably the most difficult thing to work out, but that should probably be expected. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Accordion hinge work going into all of that. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.